Okay, hello, it's me Betty, and I'm going to dive a little bit into overpaints, colored overpaints in Berserk. So I started this one because the world needs more shirtless gods colored. Um, and I have an approach here that I think is very handy, because overpaints can be really tricky, and that's mostly because of the fact you have to like take the image apart and do a lot of smoothing just to get it look right. So I started this one here, and I'm about to color in these belts. And in order to do this, you first lay out an area across the line work. And once that area is defined, you can start smoothing out the line work itself on the same layer. So how this looks like is like this. My layers are here. And I started creating his belt here. And this should be this area. I should probably name it lower belt. And I'm going to use a brush, a basic brush with hard edges, and just color it just to find the area where that belt is. It's basically what I'm doing, and it's a quite tedious and time-consuming type of work, but it's really rewarding once that thing gets done. And for some reason I can't get it. Looks right. Okay. That's a slightly different color than I actually picked. So after I've done this, we're going to edit the line art itself. And I have to do some adjusting here because this is part of the belt. Part of the, yeah, whatever, metal thing on the belt. I don't know how it's called. So once we have that defined, you really need to be careful, because you basically have to decipher the line art, and sometimes you like notice things that you haven't noticed before. For example, this here, that's actually his little knife, and that's something that you just don't know it's there until you like take a closer look at it. And there's also here this piece that's the leather belt that's going over his upper body and down here. It's kind of cool because you really start to appreciate the level of detail Mira puts into his line work, and it's really impressive. So I think this should be mostly done. Just gotta add some. It's a little bit wonky at some spots. I guess I could just use this tool here to, yeah, that looks better. Get a smooth area. Okay, right. So this is done, and what you're going to do now is we're going to pick the wand tool, or the the similar color selection tool. Yeah, just click on it, and we have it selected. And what we're going to do now, I'm going to move this layer below the line work, which looks like this, and I'm going to select the line work itself. I should probably rename it. And then with a blender blur brush, you're going to smooth the fuck out of this area now. This is a little bit tricky because you have to take care you're not smoothing away the details, and that's the tricky part. So what I'm going to do is try to smooth out the areas that are like connected areas that do not have much detail in them, like this one. And after I'm done, I will just smooth off these details here. I probably can do this with this tool as well. It's big. I think that's okay. Okay. I'm not sure what this is. It looks like some kind of piece that holds the belt together. That's how this thing looks. So I'm going to smooth around it a little bit. But I don't like how this looks right now. It's a little bit, it's quite dark right now. Okay. Just pick this bigger, smooth it out. We're going to avoid this area a little bit. That looks really weird. Now I'm going to, I will have to make some small edits because it looks really weird. So I'm going to try to erase something and then smooth it back. Make it smooth. Back to its original state. Because the shading does look right here. It's pretty finicky work. That's too much. Okay. Okay, that's not too bad. So what we're going to do now is smooth this area a little bit. Okay. It looks actually alright, I think. So now that we have this, we're going to add some more details. Looking for something. Here it is. Ah, this one is better. Okay, what the fuck? Huh, this is weird. Didn't see that it was. Ah, right, okay, now let's see. Okay. It's a little bit detailed idle. Probably here too. Okay, that looks really neat for now. And you have to consider what I'm doing right now is just editing the line work. So most shading at this point is just from smoothing the line work. And what you also do is to just shade the colored region as well, and that's what I'm going to do now with the belts. I'm picking this color, make it a little bit brighter, and also save it here. Oops. Ah. Yeah, there it is. So I'm probably going to use this color. This looks okay, this looks fine. So I'm going to select the layers again. And again I'm going to pick the color selection tool to select the area. And now I can just paint away. It's probably just here. It will shine at some point. I'm smoothing it out. Okay, that looks nice. Going to select the other belts. Select. Okay, and now I can just wait a minute. What the hell is the ow? Oh right, wrong brush, my bad. Oops. So it should be here, reflection, and then smooth out again. And that's basically how it works. I guess I could also shade his big build as well. Where the hell? Oh, right here it is. I think this isn't shaded yet, yep. I'm going to take this color, select again. So reflection should be here somewhere. So I'm going to smooth out. And that's basically how you proceed with the entire picture. It's a little bit tricky, very cumbersome, but it's also very worth it. Takes ages though. So what's also important is once you've done with smoothing out the entire line work, what you're doing then is just to remove the blacks on some spots. Like in order to create depth, you have to sometimes do it like this. Wait, I'm going to show it to you. But he could erase a little bit in order to give him depth. It's what I did here on his arm. I basically just erased here like this. For example, I could erase this, for example. So it creates more depth for the picture. If I erase little things, for example, here, like it creates more depth for the shading. Because if it's like the original line work, it has the same depth because the line work is always on the same, has the same stroke width and approximately the same contrast. And it's a problem because it works very well for ink, but it doesn't work for like painted things. That's why I'm removing here a couple of line works here. That's basically the final step then. For example, I would, for example, remove some of this of the line work here. I'm just going to do it for like demonstration purposes right now, but I'm not going to keep it like this, for example, and it will look much more with much more depth afterwards. So that's essentially how you create a colored an overcolor of a Berserk panel, or any kind of panel actually, for that matter. So I hope you found this video helpful, or I hope you were inspired to do your own thing, and thank you for watching.